Hi, my name is Pranav Kulkarni and I belong to the team Infrared. We have built um, a bot which helps you maintain your cloud infrastructure. Basically, it helps you in setting up your VMs and clusters. So let's take a look at how this bot works. So I already have my Slack open here and I have the bot called Infrared, which is already running. Let's say hello to him. Okay, let me ask him what he does. So yeah, as you can see, Infrared is basically a DevOps bot which will help you manage your cloud infrastructure, and you can set up VMs and Spark clusters, and it can manage all those things on your behalf. Let's start with the first use case, which is to set up your API keys. So it is asking for a cloud service provider. Let's say I want to use AWS, and it asks for access key ID, which is, let's say, this. My secret access key is secret. There we go. So it's working on it, and there you go. The keys have been saved successfully. Now this is a happy path for saving the keys. Let's test an alternative path where the saving of keys action does not result into a successful one. So let's begin. Please save my API keys. Let's say I say AWS, and this time I provide something like this, and this. So this time the key could not be saved because the access key ID is too small, and hence it got rejected. Now the next use case will be to set up a VM. So I'll say set up a VM for me. So let's say the OS is Ubuntu. Okay, let's say I want a RAM of 32 GB and vCPUs 4 and storage, let's say 400 GB. So there you go. So your VM is ready with the public DNS name and the public IP address. This was a happy path. Let's look at the alternative path for this one. Here I will purposely try and enter something which breaks the service, like maybe a negative RAM. Let's say vCPUs is 4 GB, 400 storage, and let's see what happens. So the reservation was not successful because the input was incorrect. So basically the provisioning service rejected this message because there was no proper validation on it. Okay, let's take a look at the third use case, which is set up a cluster. Okay, let's say I want 4 nodes and vCPUs 8, and RAM would be, let's say, 64 GB, and my storage would be, let's say, 1024 GB. So there you go. In case of a cluster, you will get a Spark cluster by default, and you will also get a Zeppelin link where you can build your notebooks, and an Ambari server link as well. We have a few other helpful use cases. For example, if I want to know all my reservations, I will simply say show me my reservations, and there you go. This is the first one is the VM link, and the second one is the cluster reservation. Many a times I want a kind of a reminder to actually go and terminate my reservation. I don't want my reservation to keep running all the while and use up my credit card. So let's say I ask the bot to remind me to terminate my reservation. So remind me to terminate my reservations in, let's say, 5 seconds. So there we go. So it basically reminded me to terminate one of my reservations here, and it has also provided me a command that I can use. So let's try and terminate the first reservation ID. So I provide that, and I immediately got the success notification saying that it was terminated successfully. So these were the main use cases, and um, let's take a quick look at what's going on behind here. So this portion of the terminal is basically the provisioning service that has been mocked, and as you can see, we are not just sending a static string, we are sending mock objects in terms of JSON. So as you can see here, reservations and which correspond to a particular user ID. And here on the top is the bot. So the bot receives a JSON object, which is basically the message that the user has provided, and then it delegates that message to the provisioning service. Okay, let's now take a look at the Selenium tests. Selenium tests have been written for both happy and sad paths for all the use cases. Let me just go ahead and run all of them. So it is first logging into Slack on Chrome. The first test that it is running is for saving keys. This is an alternative path for saving keys, and therefore you see that message, your keys could not be saved. The next use case is for setting up a VM. This was a happy path for VM. The next test case is for a sad path. And hence you see the message, your reservation was not successful. The next test case is for setting up a cluster. So in the happy path, you will get the Zeppelin link and Embody server link. And in the alternative path for cluster, you will get a failure message. This test is for reminding. And the final one was for tear down a reservation. So as you can see here, the JUnit tests, all 5 tests have been run successfully, and we have also made these tests run automatically on Travis CI. So we have set up the whole thing on Travis CI to run automated tests. As you can see from one of the earlier builds, all the test cases have passed. And most importantly, we have integration with Sauce Labs as well. So the first step the Travis CI tries to do is mvn clean, and after installing all the required plugins, it starts running the tests. This is the output from the bot, and as you can see here, all the tests have run successfully with 0 failures. Let's take a quick look at Sauce Labs, and here we have some of the tests that have been run. You can also play back the simulation of a test case on a remote server using Sauce Labs. So here I'm just playing the video on Sauce Labs, which is a simulation. That's all to our demo.